So I want to talk about this photograph because I see a lot of people on social media saying that with everything we know now, it's obviously a secret trapdoor in Epstein's waterfront property where they disposed of the bodies of the kids after they tortured and killed them. The implication being that they had so many dead kids to dispose of, they were like, all right, let's just build a trapdoor right here in the house, so when we're done with them, we could just throw them right into the ocean. I mean, as far as I can tell, it's not just a few people who think this. It's like most people think that this is the only thing that it must be. What else could it be? And to me, it's just another example of how years of social media algorithms have given everyone brain damage and removed all of their critical thinking skills. So let's think it through. So let's say you have an entire private island and presumably have boats, and you have a body you want to get rid of. Well, obviously, you're not going to take it out into the middle of the ocean and weigh it down and dump it there. No, what you're going to do is construct a trap door in your fucking living room and just drop it in the water right there where you hang out watching Netflix. Well, now you have an aquatic graveyard right next to your house, especially if you weigh them down. And if you don't, well, what happens when the bodies immediately float away and start washing up at random locations? Most likely right there on your own beaches. Probably a lot of other places too. This all could be an issue if the cops ever decide to start poking around, and you can see now how it just does not sound like a very good way to dispose of your dead kids. In fact, it sounds like the worst thing you could possibly do. It's a secret entrance. It's a clandestine way to get stuff in and out with no record of anyone taking a plane or a helicopter or any of that shit. You know, those pesky flight log things that people definitely noticed?
Trump flew 4 times in 1993. He flew once in 1994.
It's just a secret entrance. That's what it is. It's every time I went there, that's how I got in. Besides, what about all that sulfuric acid he bought?
And then right after he's indicted, he orders how many gallons?
6 55-gallon containers full of sulfuric acid.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
You know, it takes a while, but that will dissolve an entire body, bones and all. So then there's no reason for the trapdoor. You could just take it right outside and pour it into the ocean. I think what happened was he used the acid to dissolve the kids after they came in through the secret trapdoor. Ha ha! Now it's starting to add up. No, for real, if you ask me, it actually does a disservice to the victims because instead of putting the focus on them where it belongs, you're making up imaginary Nightmare on Elm Street nonsense that if you think it through for 2 seconds, does not make any sense at all. And everyone's doing this. People on social media, influencers, everybody.
There's something that no one can talk about. We can only tease. And that's the trap door and who goes to the fish. Bring up the door. Now, who goes to the fish is what we can't talk about. I can say you're doing sexual assault. I can say you're a misogynist. But we can't talk about who goes to the fish.
And of course, then the crazier it is, that's what you see because it's engagement bait, so that's what the algorithm pushes. And I don't rule anything out, but so far there isn't even any evidence that anyone disappeared or was killed on that island at all. Believe me, I want to know what beef jerky means just as much as the next person. But if I had to put money on it, I'd be willing to bet that it doesn't mean barbecued 8-year-olds. The problem is, now that we know how bad this shit was, people are going to believe anything, no matter how absurd.
You think that that's on purpose, that this is like some sort of a grand design to get us to be desensitized to the idea of demons eating babies?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
For sure.
Satanic, ritualistic killings, cannibalizing of babies, all of that lunatic shit. And until we find out what beef jerky and steaks and pizza is code for, that's what people are going to run with. We need more pizza and grape soda. Billionaires don't eat pizza and grape soda. Nobody eats fucking pizza and grape soda. Except, well, you know. But he didn't allow any black people on our island. He was a racist Jew.